Hello and thanks for checking out TheChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Hey everyone, back for another Canadian MJ. It must be a holiday weekend. That's how I like to spend my holidays, with more charts. So we looked at names that have been voted on by our members. I ranked them very roughly from strongest to weakest. Some of them are very similar, so there's not really a whole lot of difference in a lot of them, but it's very clear that HVT is the weakest. And we have some names that are in Blue Sky Breakout, which are the strongest. So HEXO.TO. And on some of these, I have to chart them on TradingView, and some I have to chart on stock charts, as TradingView does not have the CNSX exchange. So we got some black and white going on, but it's all good. So HEXO on the weekly time frame, bull break over 565 brought us to all-time highs. So the bulls very clearly are in control at this point. And the daily chart is showing me that we pretty much have the same exact pattern in CGC. And that makes a whole lot of sense, as CGC is the sector leader and we see a significant amount of correlation to it. So a lot of these 4-hour time frames are the ones to be watching. If you saw the video that I did yesterday, it was CGC on the 4-hour time frame. That's the most clear image of what we're looking at short term. And I can tell already that that's what we're looking at on the 4-hour here, with another equilibrium setup. High, low, lower, high, higher, low. And the bulls are trying to see a break. If you wanted to do the short term level, the most risk to reward, it's 554. That can be your first trigger as a bull. And to get the follow through and confirmation, breaking 565 would give you that. And then we're just looking at that all-time high. As far as support goes, it's 529 and 527. Otherwise, the low of consolidation, 512. So I have 3 very clear resistance levels and 3 very clear support levels. And we're going to see a break on Monday. Right now, it is certainly favoring the bulls, just like CGC is, because we had that strong close. And we're going to see if we can get that bull move and follow through first thing. So definitely looking like a good one. Proximity towards all-time highs. Also a benefit for the bulls. Checking in on N on the weekly time frame. This was a beautiful one just because it did get so tight on the daily time frame before a big spike. And of course, that volume spike is very visible. Bull MACD cross to go along with it. And honestly, just right off the top of my head, this looks a whole lot like the Bitcoin chart. A little bit different here, but the same kind of consolidation since the start of the year. Volume dropping off, the weekly bull MACD cross trying to happen, and then obviously the big bull spike. Let's see if this is a little bit of a precursor to what we're going to be expecting in cryptocurrency sometime in the next 6 weeks. Anyways, the daily time frame for N did see some follow through, and actually I would put N ahead of HEXO because of that. We had the high, the low of consolidation, and of course we broke that high and saw a continuation on Friday. So that puts it ahead of the curve in terms of the bulls not forming an equilibrium pattern, but already seeing that bull break. So the 4-hour time frame, we have support at 202, support at 188, and then 177 after that. And the bulls are just going to try and see continuation with a break of 209 and 210. And if we get over those levels, the next levels that we're going to be looking at on the weekly time frame are all the way up at 257. So after 210, there's some nice space to the upside. And actually, I take back what I just did because N is not in Blue Sky Breakout. So HEXO is stronger, but it's a very strong move in the short term. So that's one of those scenarios where the weekly time frame for HEXO is stronger, but the 4-hour and the shorter term time frames for N are stronger. Fire. So Fire had the huge upper wick of profit taking. Whenever I see a big upper wick like that, I always want the shorter term details, whether it's an hourly candlestick, a weekly candlestick. I look in and say, did we lose the higher low pattern? And the answer for Fire is no. So we have a huge big upper wick of profit taking on that weekly chart. But as far as the daily chart is concerned, the last clear higher low was 146. So the odds that we form another higher low compared to that level are very, very likely. So we're looking at 197 at this point. And in order to be confident that our daily higher low has been established, we need to change the hourly trend for the bulls. So looking at the hourly chart, I can see we're leveling out with multiple inside bars. I need to see a bull move, but anything under 222 is just an hourly lower high. So we're going to need a bull move. We'll likely form a lower high compared to 222. Then we need the higher low and then the bull break. So this is what it would look like if we see the bounce. Get rid of the magnet. But if we see the bounce, we set our lower high, we pull back, set the higher low, and then see the bull break. that would give us the confirmation that our daily higher low has formed and the bulls are ready to make it back up towards that resistance. So short-term resistance, 205. Then I'm looking at 222 and then up towards the recent highs. And as far as support goes, if 197 breaks, we're looking down at 188 as the next level, followed by 185 after that. VIVO, bull break, and confirmation of the trend change on the weekly. So the initial bounce, we just set a lower high, keeping the bears in control. Then we got the higher low and increasing bull volume on continuation. It's very notable that that increasing bull volume was occurring during that follow through. And again, significant consolidation on this weekly time frame. So the daily chart, higher lows still intact. Very important pattern to be watching. Anything above 139 will keep those daily higher lows, so bulls are not worried about losing those levels. And it gave us a little daily inside bar, so short term, 168 support, 177 resistance. If we get a bull break, it's 182 after that. If we get a bear break, 168 and then 163. And in terms of weekly resistance after 182, our recent high, we're looking up at 2 psychological and 206. So a nice trend change underway on the weekly time frame, and we're going to be watching very close to see if we can get continuation. A lot of these Canadian MJ names, a lot of these US MJ names, very bullish setup still in play. So we could absolutely see another leg up over the next couple of weeks, and it's something that the bulls are going to be holding out for. T-God on the daily, or actually this is the weekly, low, just a bounce that was a lower high, higher low, and bull break when we got over 576. At this point, the daily chart has begun to consolidate, but look at this pattern, and this should stand out as we're forming a tightening range, which means look to the 4-hour for an equilibrium. So there it is, and it's beautiful. High, low, lower high, higher low. Looks like our lower high is being set, but not convincing just yet. If we pull back and break 562, then we'll say our lower high is at 581. So the range right now I'm watching is 546 support, 581 resistance. When we get the bull break, we have 2 resistance levels to be watching. If we get a bear break, we have a support level at 530, 525 to be watching. So a nice tight 4-hour equilibrium. Again, if I were just on my own here doing my analysis and getting ready for the week, I would be writing down the names that are closest to blue sky breakout. I'd be writing the names that have a clear 4-hour equilibrium to be watching. And those would be 2 distinct different lists in terms of what to be watching. Perhaps I play the blue sky breakout name first thing and lock in some gains and then jump into perhaps a name that's breaking its 4-hour equilibrium bullish. If that's how it were to end up playing out, there's definitely a whole lot of opportunity out there. And we'll see if the bulls get that continuation. IAN.ca on the weekly time frame. Support is 597 and 567. Resistance 755 was broken, not very convincingly just yet, but if we can break over 760, 789 is the recent high and the all-time high, and the bulls are just trying to get that follow-through. So healthy consolidation overall, and now the bulls are looking for that continuation move, and at this point, it's the upper Bollinger Band standing in the way. Daily inside bar. So for our short-term levels, support is 690. Resistance is 745. Bulls would love to break 760 on Monday to give some confirmation and follow through and have us looking back up to that high of 789. And let's actually make sure that that is the all-time high. I was assuming a bit. We have to zoom out to the longer-term time frame, and it is indeed. So that's one to watch for a potential all-time high this coming week if the sector starts the week strong. And we have to be watching what the reaction to the markets are with this Canada and US trade talk. MPX on the weekly time frame, big bull move to all-time highs. Didn't really get a clear bull break. Well, we did by 2 pennies, but would have expected a bit more follow-through on that all-time high. We look at the daily chart, and it's just healthy consolidation at this point. Note the volume climaxes have been signaling the tops. Volume climax on Thursday gave us the top. One of the ones we just looked at here, I believe it was T-God. And it was T-God volume climax was the top of the bull move. VIVO. Let's see, there was another one. Fire. You get the point. Volume climax is signaling the top and signaling consolidation is coming. So MPX got the bull break by a couple pennies. Inside bar, break of 98 cents tells us daily consolidation is coming. And a break of 105 has us looking up at 120. So a real tight inside bar to be watching on the daily, and that would be even another list that I would be watching. Daily inside bars, near all-time high names, and 4-hour equilibriums. There's all kinds of ways to get overwhelmed in this sector right now, and keeping things nice and organized on a piece of paper right in front of you is the way that I do it to stay sane. HVT, let's wrap it up. HVT still has not broken the weekly downtrend, and all these other names, most of them have. So we're looking at resistance of 75. Anything under 75 is a lower high. We're topping out at 71 right now. So remember, we can look back at almost a glimpse into the future for what we're going to need to see here. And again, it's the weekly time frame. So it was T-God that gave us the higher low and then break to a higher high. VIVO did the same thing. So these two names, higher lows and higher highs, that's exactly what HVT is going to want to see. So potentially topping out soon, give us the weekly higher low and then the higher high continuation to confirm that trend change. As far as daily supports go, it's 71 cents. Anything above that maintains the daily higher lows, but we might have to consolidate on that weekly time frame before we get up to these 87 and 89 resistances, as we have topped out here at 83 currently. So that's where we stand overall. Nice opportunities here as well. For me personally, just due to liquidity and ease of trading, CGC is my horse. I also like Cron as well. It allows me to use stop losses in the US markets. And again, liquidity, easier to use a larger amount of capital and move in and out quickly. And some of these names, I wouldn't be able to do that. So let's see if these bulls still got it. They certainly still have a lot in their favor at this point in terms of momentum. And Tuesday is going to be very telling. So I hope you have a great holiday tomorrow, and we'll see you soon.